Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, greetings and salutations to everybody who's watching. Today we are myself, Diddy, Ruth, who are the women of BSV, and we are joined by Brendan Lee, who is the founder of ELAS, and Ethel, who is the research administrator at ELAS, and they are here to tell us all about the Enterprise Blockchain Conference in Australia. So handing over to Ruth, because I'm sure Ruth has plenty of questions for both of you, and welcome to our show today.
Hi,
Thanks very much for having us.
It's so lovely to see you both. And I mean, at some point, we're going to have to get you on to talk to you about ELAS Digital. But for the time being, tell us about this this conference that you're organising. What is it, and how did you come about the idea of doing it?
Sure. Well, let's start with the idea. So this kind of sprang out of, I guess, a poolside meeting between myself and Lise Lee in Dubai, kind of 1 or 2 days after the conference. We kind of bumped into each other, had a really nice chat. Turned out that Lise, in order to get to Dubai, had to fly out of Shanghai and really can't go back because of the lockdown and some other conditions. And so she's spending her time sort of going around the place. And I said, well, you should come to Brisbane because it's nice. We're nice. We'll show you a good time. And then that turned into, well, that's great. I'll come. We should do a meetup. Okay, great. Yes, a meetup. That sounds fantastic. And then all of a sudden, a meetup turned into a conference plus a developers workshop plus a thing and a thing and another thing. But we said, all right, let's run with it. We gave ourselves a very ambitious target. So the whole thing is being organised in about 2 weeks, which is very compressed for your typical conference. So, I mean, it won't be CoinGeek Dubai, or sorry, the global BSV convention, but we will have live streaming. Where I think we have, Ethel, like 11 or 12 individual presenters who will all be bringing, different flavors of talks to the day. And then day 2 is quite exciting as well. So we've got, I think, almost 40 developers who already signed up to come. And we're really going to be going through some of the best tools in the BSV space for the first part of the day. And then the second part of the day, we'll move on to practical exercises and just have everyone trying to build something small just to really get the feel for building on BSV, putting transactions on chain, having a good time. We want to show them that it's fun, it's easy, it's cheap, it's not a scam. Really, the prevailing mindset that's out there is don't touch it, it doesn't work, it's there's nothing there. But really what you find is as soon as you show people how good it is and how quickly it works and how cheap and all of these things, it sticks in their brains. And so that's a huge part of what day 2 is about, is just showing them that, hey guys, this is not a boogeyman here. This is real. It's here today. You can use it now. And there's all of this cool stuff that you can do. And people have already published the tools to make it really simple. And so that's day 2. So really, we're trying to. So all of our presenters, except for one who was unable to book flights in the short time we had, so he's going to do a pre-recorded talk. So that's Paul Chiari from MetaStream. But all of our other speakers are going to be physically at the venue. So it's really a showcase of BSV development in Australia. And, we have some of the most outstanding companies in Australia coming on the day. We have James Belding from Tokenized. We've got Daniel Keane from Predict Ecology. We have a couple of other quite interesting talks. So we have a lady, Cynthia
Kai.
Who is it, Ethel? Cynthia Kai, sorry. My apologies.
Dr. Cynthia Kai.
Dr. Cynthia Kai, who's coming to talk about triple entry accounting. And so Dr. Kai has done some work with Juan
Ignacio, I think it was. He was
Juan
at,
Ignacio.
Yeah, he was at one of the last
I
coin
think he was
keeper
in
conferences.
Zurich, talking with Dr. Ian Grigg about the work that they had done together.
Oh, wow.
And so she's...
Greg is Australian as well. Does he live in Australia still?
No, I believe he's in Greece somewhere or
right, okay.
something like that. But I don't know how long he's not lived in Australia for. But yeah,
She's one of the prominent universities, isn't she, in Australia as well? Is that right?
Macquarie or Monash, one of those two, I think.
Macquarie. She's at Macquarie University. Yeah. Well, when I told Juan about it, he already knew her, so she's quite well known in that triple entry blockchain sort of world. So yeah, it's really great that she agreed to fly up from Melbourne, and yeah, we're looking forward to have her here and hopefully at the next conference. And
no, it's wonderful. It's about time you guys had your own conference. As you say, there are so many companies based in Australia working on BSV. It's probably the highest density of companies, isn't it? Would you say, of any continent?
I think it's certainly quite high. And even outside of that, the crypto and blockchain space here is actually quite huge. And unfortunately, we've struggled to sort of break into that. And I'm sure everyone, has had the same problem. And so this is sort of, this has been really great as a bit of a circuit breaker for us to say, well, we're not going to hang around and wait to sort of get in. We're just going to go ourselves. And so we've obviously reached out to a lot of those people and invited them to come. And I think they make up quite a large part of our numbers. So it's going to be very exciting to speak to those people. And some of the people who are coming are some of the biggest BSV skeptics that personally I've ever met. And certainly people with whom I've had what you might call robust arguments about things for quite some time, who are now really coming to grips with the fact that they can't just deride it as nonsense. Like, BSV is here, and the performance that we're talking about is real. And we've done 20 million transactions in a day, and we've done 2 million transactions in a block, and they're not fake numbers. Everything is there on the public ledger to see. And so they're looking at that now and going, wow, these guys are actually serious about bringing, scaling this to really accommodate global demand. And so I hope that we can see past a lot of the noise, which I think is what in a lot of ways limits their perception of what's possible, and move into like the real realm of like, what can we do in here? And because I think they're going to be very pleasantly surprised.
I bet they are. Are there any names that we would recognize?
Are
they just
probably?
Or?
I don't think so.
Probably not internationally. I think that there'd be a lot, for people who are in Brisbane or maybe in Australia that people might know. But look, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. So,
well, I noticed one of the virtual keynote speakers is going to be Xiao Wei. So that's going to be quite interesting because obviously he's an educator and a developer, but he's got this really amazing thing that he can show how Solidity contracts, in one click can be converted. BSV contrast. So that's, there's probably going to be a few people coming away like with a oh wow kind of attitude.
Hopefully. I did try and reach out to an Ethereum meetup. So in Australia we have meetups. Actually, I don't know if it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah.
Do you have, yeah, it is. Yeah. Anyway, so it was an Ethereum meetup page, and so I contacted the co-organizer and no response.
No, not interested.
No. Yeah. And that's the trouble, isn't it? It's hard enough reaching out at the best times, but you just want to get like doors slammed in your face, basically, don't you?
Yeah, well, I did think, okay, if that guy approached us and said, oh, hey, do you want to come to our Ethereum conference? But there was nothing about BSV in it. I'd go, oh, no, I don't think so. But I did tell him how we've got Xiao Wei coming and explaining the transpiler, and that should have tweaked his interest a little bit, don't you think?
I would have thought.
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like competition as well. Okay, what are you talking about? I need to check it out. Yeah, that would be
especially
how
if it can potentially save you thousands in fees, transaction fees as well. You'd think that everybody would be interested in that.
Yeah.
Sooner or later. But you know,
we'll get him there one day. Maybe maybe next year. I'll infiltrate the meetup group and get in there.
So I'm actually massively impressed about just the idea of organizing a conference. Like, if we were to do one here, me and Diddy talk about it occasionally, but like, that's a huge undertaking. And you've got like the Brisbane Conference Centre. I mean, this is big stuff that you've done in 2 weeks.
Yes, and it's been really great to get the financial support of the Bitcoin Association. And they've been really fantastic in working with us to look at a budget and how many people we would be able to get, and really have covered pretty much all of the costs for it. And so the only thing that we need to do is organize everything and show up. It's a huge part of the stress off, because I don't know about the rest of the BSV business founders out there. I certainly don't have the type of money needed for a conference just in my petty cash at the moment. But it looks like the numbers are growing very quickly. We're over 40 people now on the dev workshop, so there's only less than 20 places left on that. Cool. And I think the main conference, we're well over 50, so we're more than half full now.
Yeah. So just remind people what day it is, what days these are on, what times are, where exactly it is, the location, and how people can get tickets.
So it is on Monday the 18th is the conference, and then Tuesday the 19th of July.
Just next week.
Just next week. Next Monday and Tuesday. For anyone listening who is local in Brisbane or who can make it to Brisbane, you can sign up. There is an Eventbrite page, which we will share with this video, and you can just go there. You can register a ticket. It's free. You get free lunch. You get free morning tea. You get free networking drinks at the end, and you get 6 hours of free talks from some of the best Bitcoin engineers and entrepreneurs in Australia. So I think it's shaping up to be an absolutely fabulous day. We will be running it a little bit by the seat of our pants, but I think that's how we shine the best is by pulling it out at the last second. And I think we've got some really great topics planned for the talks, and I'm really I'm not hoping to fill the whole audience with BSV people, because it's not really so much about preaching to the choir. What I really want is to get some of the really hardcore developers who are looking at blockchain, or developers who haven't looked at blockchain before, but want to see what's out there, to come and have a look, to see that it's not all boogeymen and scams, and that actually there are real tools here that allow you to do real things and build real things on the blockchain really easily and very cheaply. And that's what we're here to do. And what's really wonderful is that we have so many accomplished business operators here in Australia that we can bring to the Brisbane Convention Centre, and that we can put in front of people to talk about what they're doing. We have Lament, we have Tokenize, we have Metastream, we have Predict Ecology, we have ELAS. We have Anonvo.
Eli.
Yeah, Eli Afram from Anonvo, and also from AMLA.
And then we have two of Lisa Lee's contacts.
Yes, so we have Michael
Choi.
Robert Choi coming from. Michael Choi from what's it called?
Panda Angel. No.
Panda Angel, who are doing.
Panda Angel? I'm so intrigued by the name.
So they without talking about it too much, they are working on a project called My Fabula, which means my story. And it is a really interesting project about, I think sort of a new way to imagine what social media could be. And so still very early days for Panda Angel and the Fabula project, but very exciting, and certainly with the right intention of giving people ownership, giving people the ability to share, giving people control. So,
I mean, just from the name, it sounds like they're venture capitalists or angel investors or something. Have you got any angel investors coming to your knowledge, or is that something?
We reached out to a few, but at this stage, I don't know that we do have any investment type people, and which is a little bit of a shame. But at the same time, that's not completely our focus. I think it would be great to have some people who are investors, and there will be some people who I know for a fact do invest in BSV companies, but it is not the main thing that they do. Who will be in the audience? So
the radar. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be live streamed? Sorry, is it going to be live streamed at all? It is. Fantastic.
Oh, brilliant. So we
where would the link be, and how do we get hold of a link so we can watch it live streaming?
Okay, well, so we're still waiting on the Bitcoin Association link. So it'll be live streamed on the Bitcoin Association's channel. Okay. And then one of our speakers, Robert Lee, he's one of the other organizers from Blockchain Metaverse Association. And he's actually a professor, and he has a number of Bitcoin mining farms here in Australia and around the world. And he also has a lot of education programs running throughout the world too. He's got a YouTube subscriber list of 50,000. Oh, so nice. Yeah, that'll be a good reach. So he's going to live stream it on his channel as well. And he's also talking at the conference.
And who is comparing, and do you feel any pressure to write an amazing intro and outro like Jimmy Wynn?
That will be myself, and no, I do not.
Will you be, like, when you did in Dubai, you had some real great animation, and I noticed that because myself and you, Brendan, have been doing Craig's philosophy course, and I noticed you did put some of the course content into that presentation, which actually was great because it did explain a lot of the history of kind of, things. So are you going to be doing something like that again? Because I thought that was wonderful.
I had not thought about that. I will be talking about ELAS, and I have thought about just recycling that same talk from Dubai, but for the intro to the conference itself, I'm really going to focus much more on BSV. I'm going to cover some of everyone's favorite talking points, like how to scale, talking about SPV, talking about efficiency, especially energy efficiency, looking at transaction fees, all of these things, and how the business of operating nodes scales with activity on the network. And so really trying to release people from these apprehensions they have about all this bogus stuff that's out there, like the blockchain trilemma and these things that really are very, very easy to disprove unless the person has been brainwashed into thinking it's fact. So, I don't think, I certainly don't have the time to create the beautiful video montages that Jimmy does. And unfortunately, we're not going to have the lighting crew to bring the lights down and play the music, bring the crescendo at the right moment. However, I will be trying my best to, I guess, in the spirit of Jimmy, deliver it really clearly and in a way that doesn't, I certainly know that I make the mistake of being very, very technical in the things that I say. And so one of the things I've been trying to focus on for quite a while is to really explain things without the technical jargon and make sure that, so that'll be hopefully something that comes through in the talk. But yes, the facility will be a lot more modest than what was available in Dubai as well. So yes, it will fit the venue, I think.
But with a much shorter lead time, to be fair,
Yes.
to organise and advertise the event. So, I mean, just the fact that you're doing it, I think is incredible. Do you think that you'll make it an annual event, or are you going to wait until afterwards to see how knackered you are?
Look, I certainly think that there is definitely a need for this type of grassroots activity, not just here in Australia, but all over the world. And I think that we certainly, everything that we've done is to allow us to replicate the formula. And so then if we go in, in 3 weeks' time, we go, hey, that was great. Let's do another one in Melbourne in November and another one in Sydney next February, and do that every year. I think that's something that we could do, or run one big one or something like that. It certainly, I think it needs to happen. There's demand for it. I mean, if we can fill our very modest little hall this time with 2 weeks, I sort of think then, well, imagine what we could do if we had 3 months and a proper advertising budget, and we could really go out and not just find whoever's not doing anything on Monday, but really find people who are interested and let them prepare and take the time off, because a lot of people have been able to say no because it's like, well, I can't get out of work on Monday because you're giving me 6 days notice, and which is fair enough. But if we had the time, I think we could actually make it quite an event. And I've been to blockchain events here in Brisbane that have had several thousand people showing up. So,
and is there any hope of a surprise Craig video link in, or is...
No, it's not something that we have planned. Actually, we don't even have a facility for telepresence on the conference day, unfortunately. So, yes, if anyone's watching hoping for a bit of a Craig uplift at some point in the, unfortunately, you're stuck with me, with, there's enough Aussie Bitcoiners. There's enough Aussie Bitcoiners in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. Without the Godfather.
That's right.
Yeah. I was going to say that I think because we've had such a short time to organize this conference, it's really kind of pushed me to try and get into places which I don't think we've really done before as a company. So, for example, I reached out to the universities, and that was kind of very hard to get through all those layers of schools and faculties and all of that. And plus the students are on holidays, and so are a lot of the lecturers.
Of course, yeah.
But I noticed today that we've had about 5 or 6 students from QUT and UQ sign up. So I obviously got through. And yeah, we also reached out to the Department of Resources because Daniel from Predict Ecology, he deals a lot with the mining industry up in North Queensland. And so we've got a couple of people from the Department of Resources Queensland coming to the event. So I thought that was pretty good.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's just pushed us to go, right, who can we get?
Yeah.
And I just went hard. I called them up like every day until they'd answer my phone call. And because I found that if you just send an email, they might see the word blockchain in the email and they'll go, oh, that's a scam. Mm-hmm. So I just found if I called up, you know, that made things more real. And yeah.
So that's an interesting point you've just made there. It's no longer Bitcoin is a scam. It's now they actually think blockchain is a scam.
Crypto, yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I think the actuality of cryptocurrency, you know, that it is a scam is coming true, and people are seeing it for what it is.
Yeah, it's bad timing, really, isn't it?
Well, so what we have to do here is grab onto the underlying thread that just cuts through all of this, which is that there's always been one real blockchain, and there's always been one true purpose, and it's this one, and it was designed. This is the original. It was designed by Satoshi, created by Satoshi. It still uses the rules set forward by Satoshi, and it's only with these rules and by doing it in this way that we're going to be able to build this thing into something that is really can change the world. And you know, we can keep playing with these little toy networks that just break down under the first hint of stress, or we can get to business. And you know, so that's the thread that we've got to pull through. And you know, hopefully there's a few things coming out soon with Craig and his cases, and just I think the way the whole thing is going down, you can really see now that the crypto people are getting very edgy. Like the price, that the only thing they have to talk about is price, and price is not doing what they want. And so that's, you know, surely that's going to be causing a lot of people to be thinking twice about what they're doing, where they're putting their money. And it does give us a bit of a thread, because, you know, when you go, hey, we've got this talk about blockchain, and they say, well, blockchain's a scam, you can go, yes, it is, but there's a thread here that there is one blockchain that is not. And that it's not here to, you know, the one thing that we do different is really, nobody's here to sell a token. Now, I can't remember the last time I heard someone say buy BSV. You know, it's just not something that we talk about. No one talks about the price. No one really cares about the price. I mean, I think the price is great because I can go and buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, and I can tuck it behind a website, and that can run the entire operation
for 2 years, possibly.
Yeah, run the entire operation for a year with 50,000 customers, and they never have to pay a transaction fee. And so really that's the utility value of BSV. You know, you buy it in very small amounts and you do lots of things with it.
And it runs and runs,
That's right. You know, anyone holding Oh, sorry, go ahead.
How much would that normally cost if you were doing it on, I don't know, Amazon or a different server?
It's still quite cheap, but what you don't get is the public attestation of everything that's taken
and the
place.
security and
security and
transparency.
Well, I was going to say something else I've noticed as well is I actually Googled Craig, and for the first time it actually says on Google that Craig is Satoshi.
Oh, you're kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is obviously a sign that things are all this disinformation and everything is being pulled off the internet. He's being recognized for whom he is. So now if you who is Satoshi Nakamoto in Google, it comes up with the correct information that it is Craig.
Wow.
Ooh, I'm going to try that later.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be a source of pride to Australians as well.
Well, for me, yes, you know, he was born here in Brisbane, and which, you know, to me, this is really, we're bringing Bitcoin back home for Craig. So, you know, I think that's certainly something that I'm very happy that we can say, you know, we share that this with Craig. And it's interesting. When I first got into this, you know, it was, I had Steve Shatters living a kilometre up the road. You know, Craig's just down the road. I met James Belding. You know, there's a lot happening here. just in this one city, which is pretty amazing. But this is not where Craig created Bitcoin. He did that down in Sydney. So,
I was just going to say for next year, you sounded very Jimmy there, Brendan, when you said, bringing Bitcoin back home.
Yeah.
That can be our
Bringing Bitcoin back home. Great slogan.
bringing Bitcoin home.
Yeah, but we'd have to get Craig to come to that one, like even live stream. Oh, I mean,
Sure. I'm sure we can make that happen next year.
Yeah.
It's about time you visited Australia.
I think so.
Yeah.
So Casey's going to join us. Hello, Casey. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hi, Casey.
Good morning. Good morning. It's very early. I did not realize this was happening at 6 today. I thought it was tomorrow. I apologize. I missed that in my calendar.
That's all right.
No, I was saying that the interesting thing is because we're in the UK, so we're on. I always see it as we're on present time. Brendan's in the future, but Casey's in the past, and that's how I see it.
I did have a little wobbly moment just before you came on, where I was thinking, "Shit, have I got the wrong day? Like, is it Thursday where you are, and it's Wednesday?" Anyway, it was.
Yeah.
But, like, you do have to think about these things with Australia. You really are that far ahead. Yeah.
So we're just talking about the conference. So you said, I mean, like literally, it's open. The wording is, we welcome all blockchain enthusiasts, professionals, researchers, developers, and to come and learn, discuss, and network with pioneers in the blockchain space here in Australia, because you are pioneering the way, as you say, on the original protocol, the only blockchain that actually works. And this conference is the 18th and 19th of July, which is next week, and it's at the Brisbane Convention and Exhibition Centre, South Brisbane. And I will put the link in the description box below for the Eventbrite, where you can actually go straight to the tickets and see more about what's happening at the event. So thank you very much, Brendan and Ethel, for joining us and talking to us a little bit more about what is happening and how the conference came about. Really looking forward to seeing this. It will be live streamed, like you say, on the Bitcoin Association's webpage, YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, the link for the actual event will be in the description box below. So thank you very much for telling us all about this. Really excited for you.
Just before we go,
I
just want to say thank you to Ethel, who does such an amazing job. Ethel's been with me since my very first ever meetup. Ethel came. She's come to every single one since then, and she's been working with me at ELAS since day one. She does an amazing job, and the conference literally would not be going ahead without her.
I can tell.
Thank you, Ethel.
Thank you. Thank you, Brendan.
Well,
Thank you very much. But it's a huge opportunity. I mean, ever since, I think 2017, I dreamed of how am I going to get into Bitcoin? So, so you were the answer to that.
Neck deep in it now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Hey, Ethel, come and jump in the deep end.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you're
Very
really,
much so.
really lucky, you'll see Ethel on some Women of BSV videos.
Yeah.
If you're really lucky. But
It's
it's
a difference, isn't it? But
The time
There
zones are
is.
hard.
But I'd love to catch up on your threads and stuff after this conference. I'll definitely be back on Twitter a bit
brilliant.
more. And
Catch up on your sleep.
yeah, thank you so much, ladies, for doing this, by the way, because it was very short notice.
No problem.
And you're helping spread the word. So yeah.
Wonderful.
pleasure.
Well, look, we
I
will
really appreciate it.
again soon. We will enjoy watching you comparing on stage, Brendan. This is I
Thank
think
you.
it's a great opportunity for
Right.
growth.
Go,
It's
Brendan.
quite a
Go,
Friday,
Brendan.
presumably, but it's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I'm planning to go like reasonably unprepared, and I'm going to have just like very scarce slides with just like a picture or a word, and then just talk and try and be pretty natural about it. And I'm sure I'll be able to.
I think it'll go wonderfully. You're
I
such
think
a
so.
lovely, sociable guy.
Yeah,
I'm sure people will really enjoy it.
Thank you, Ruth.
On
I
that
appreciate
note,
that.
shall we say goodbye?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Bye, ladies. Thank you so much.
Have an amazing time.
Thank
you.
you.